thank God our country didn't implode while Joe was not in charge. Because
it pretty much almost did. We're very close. Obviously, the Trump White House is cleaning up a lot of that right now. Look at the crisis at the border. Look at what's happening with ICE agents right now going out there having to cover up their faces because they're getting doxxed by officials in various cities, and their families' lives are in danger as a result. I mean, there's a massive mess to clean up, and you're right. We didn't get to, God forbid, a nuclear war, but we were on the brink of complete destruction under that administration.
And Trump's had to wrangle this back in 4 months. I mean, it's insane. So as more and more questions continue to swirl about Joe Biden's cognitive state and woefully inadequate leadership, now there's new scrutiny, focusing on the use of that presidential auto pen by his staffers. A report by Power the Future claims that several of Biden's climate-related executive orders were signed using that device. And he probably wasn't anywhere around. They're saying he wasn't even there to authorize it. The report identifies 8 significant executive orders related to the climate policy, including offshore drilling bans, invoking emergency executive powers to promote more solar manufacturing and usage. There is no public record of Biden discussing these actions, which are leading to concerns that he had no direct involvement. Yeah, chief of staff, the wife, who did it? And then there's this bombshell coming from the Secret Service, the service that stays secret. Agents assigned to Biden say that he, quote, often showed significant cognitive decline during his occupation of our White House, becoming disoriented, getting lost. Literally, one of them said he got lost in his own closet. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley says it's all part of a broader cover-up by the Biden regime, liberals, Democrats, and the lamestream media, labeling it a significant scandal in presidential history. That's putting it mildly, Josh. Are you kidding me? We propped up a corpse for 4 years. It was weekend at JoJo's. I mean, we could have got into a nuclear war because of it. It already crushed the economy. We already had an invasion. Joining us now with reaction to all this, she's the Senior Director of Media Affairs and the Chief Spokeswoman over at the America First Policy Institute, our good friend, Jen Pellegrino, back on Real America. Hi, Jen. How are you?
Hey, Dan. Doing great. Thanks for having me back.
Every day we learn more and more. Now, you and I aren't learning any of this. I mean, these are new revelations because somebody's blowing the whistle, but we knew the auto pen was rigged. He didn't do all those signatures and all those executive orders and all those pardons. We knew he had mental decline. I mean, remember the video of when he got out of I think it was the chopper one day, Marine One, and he's walking up and he was supposed to turn, I think, right and go into the White House. And the Secret Service agents air traffic control. This way, Mr. President. This way, Mr. President. And Joe just keeps shuffling right on through the lawn.
Exactly. I mean, Dan, none of this is surprising to any of us, and I speak in my capacity having reported in the past on the Biden White House, having reported on the Trump White House, and you see 2 very different presidents. None of this is surprising to those of us who are paying close attention, who are asking questions, only to be dismissed by other journalists, by the White House, only to be mocked by other media, the legacy media that is now saying, hey, the Democrats were lying to us. We know that's what was going on. They just didn't do their job in digging and asking the questions, much like they try to do with this current administration. They didn't care. They were, fully working alongside the Biden White House in this cover-up.
Yeah, this is why he would always joke in the mic and say, well, I'm going to get in trouble if I'm up here longer. Oh, wait, I got to ask him if I'm allowed to take questions. Oh, I got to find out which way I should go. He didn't know. I mean, this is really sad, actually. And as I said at the beginning, thank God our country didn't implode while Joe was not in charge. Because
it pretty much almost did. We're very close. Obviously, the Trump White House is cleaning up a lot of that right now. Look at the crisis at the border. Look at what's happening with ICE agents right now going out there having to cover up their faces because they're getting doxxed by officials in various cities, and their families' lives are in danger as a result. I mean, there's a massive mess to clean up, and you're right. We didn't get to, God forbid, a nuclear war, but we were on the brink of complete destruction under that administration.
And Trump's had to wrangle this back in 4 months. I mean, it's insane what happened. And again, as we continue to learn more and more about this stuff, I just can't run this soundbite. By the way, this is a clip from Jake Tapper. This guy's out doing his book tour, right? And you and I know Jake. I've run into him out there in the field, and I've given him for his lies over the decades. But this takes the cake, Jen. I'm going to write a book called Original Sin, and I'm going to act like I didn't know, none of us in the media knew, but there was a huge cover-up by the left of Joe Biden's mental decline. Really, Jake? Roll that crap.
And I think that we need to be skeptical of everything that we are told by people in power. And I mean, that obviously should be the mantra of being a journalist to begin with. If your mother tells you she loves you, get a second source. Right. But we just need to remember that. Like, politicians lie. White Houses lie. Power is an aphrodisiac. And we just need to all remember that.
The mainstream media lies, Jake. Remember it. Look at all those headlines. You guys knew, you lied. Now you're doing a book tour trying to make money off of not knowing. Wink, wink. But there's one person, by the way, Jen, as we say goodbye to you, I'll give you the final word, that believes Joe is just fine. And we know what a weird, sick pervert he is in the brain. Bill Clinton says he never saw Biden's mental decline. Quote, he was in good shape when I saw him. Jen. Wow. His
judgment you really want to trust on this. I mean, come on. What else do you think he's going to say? Listen, it's not about age. We know this. I've seen 90-year-olds that are in better shape than Joe Biden is.
That's
you look at our current president. So no criticism on the age factor.
Nope.
But listen, there are a lot of people that were very close to him that knew what was going on. Obviously, a number of elected officials. We saw Elizabeth Warren dancing around a podcast where she was asked the question about his decline, couldn't answer it. A lot of people saw it, and it's a massive disservice to the American people. This goes way back to 2019 when he was campaigning in the book Original Sin, talking about how Biden couldn't remember the name of a longtime aide that had worked for him for 30 plus years. I mean, listen, this goes way back, and something should have been done then. And what needs to happen now, Dan, is that we never go back to that place. There needs to be cognitive tests in place for our elected officials at all levels of government.
I mean, how about the her audio that got released a week and a half ago when they interviewed Joe and he couldn't remember when his son died, when he was vice president, and when Trump won.
And isn't it interesting how that came out on a Friday night, right? And then a couple days later, then we get the news that Biden has cancer, and we got to feel sorry for the guy, right? I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Don't think they didn't time that, Jen.
This is where we are.
Don't think they didn't time that on purpose.
Exactly.
Now we got to feel sorry for him, so you can't be mad that he didn't have his marbles while he was running the country, because he wasn't running the country. And you and I said it. Jen Pellegrino, as always, thank you so much for coming on. Take care.
Thank you, Dan Ball. Appreciate it.
Looking for news that actually tells the truth, not just the headlines they want you to hear? Then it's time to sign up for OAN Live. It's your go-to source for unfiltered news, sharp debate, and 5 hard-hitting political talk shows, including my show, Real America with Dan Ball. You can watch live anytime, anywhere. No noise, no nonsense, just real reporting and bold conversations that matter to you and your family. You can sign up for OAN Live now to see the truth unfold, and you can catch Real America every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Just go to live.onn.com. Again, that's live.onn.com and sign up today and start watching every weeknight at 8 p.m. Eastern.